Hi, friends. Welcome back to Live at the Roxy on this Tuesday, June 29th, where we have a lot to talk about today because number one, I saw Black Widow last night / this morning. What do you call 3 a.m.? Last night, technically this morning. Also, there's free Britney updates, so y'all know I'm here for that. I want to talk about Christina Aguilera for a minute, as there's a lot of mixed reviews going around the internet about the fact that Christina is showing her support for Britney and people's perception that Christina was part of the problem. And so I wanted to break down that situation as well. Plus, we got more Knives Out 2 casting. I feel like if we're on Live at the Roxy and we're not talking about Knives Out 2 casting, are we even doing a show at all? It's so crazy how many people they keep adding to this cast. I feel like at some point the movie's gonna blow a fuse because I mean, is everybody taking a budget cut for this? Or y'all just fucking really spending every dollar you have on this movie? Ethan Hawke and Jada Pinkett Smith both joined the cast, so we will break that out as well. Break it out, break it down, break it out. Nah. Plus a lot of other things and some Roxy's advice corner as well, because y'all, I've been in my feels so much. Yeah, yeah, facts. I also need to still take my, this isn't relevant to you guys, but I need to still take my picture for today for day 16. Have you guys been following what I've been doing on Instagram? It is wearing me out, but I'm loving it. It's kind of crazy. For those of you guys who don't know, I've been recreating a photo for every single day for every year of my life leading up to 30. I'm turning 30 on July 13th. And so I'm doing year 1, year 2 recreations of these photos that I'm finding from the past. And what the most challenging part about all of that has been is that I keep finding that most of the photos that I find from my past, at least because I'm at year 16 as of today, are pictures of me with my mom. And it's so fucking frustrating and sad to know that I'll never be able to recreate those photos. You just sit there and you stare at them and you just think like, wow, how fucking lucky was I? And I had no idea. Just she really, really loved me. And that is incredibly rare in this world, as I am finding, to have like true love from somebody, just real love. I don't know that I've ever found it again. So I'm really grateful for her. And looking at those has been bizarro, but it's also been a lot of fun to look back in the past. And I'm going to be creating another one today. So if you haven't checked those out on my Instagram, make sure you go check those out. Also, as always, like, comment, subscribe. If you have anything you want to be talked about on this show, streamlabs.com. And let me know questions, comments, concerns. If you have specific questions about Black Widow, it's going to be a non-spoiler review, but any questions that don't cause me to do a spoiler, send those in. Or if you saw it somehow, let me know about that. If you want to talk about Knives Out 2 or Christina and Britney or any of those things going on, then I would love to hear from you guys. I know I was going to try to go up tomorrow at 7 a.m. or yesterday at 7 a.m. before I was driving to do a shoot with the Whirl Girls, but it was just crazy. I did not sleep the night before. I have not slept in a long time. And I was running around, and then all of a sudden I was hit with like a shit ton of work. And I was like, oh, okay, guess it's just going to be Tuesday this week. So we are going to be live today, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We'll see about Saturday, definitely Sunday. So we're back on our normal schedule as of now. So thank you for sticking with me. I know it's been kind of weird and a bit inconsistent. Still more consistent than pretty much any other YouTuber, but y'all know what I fucking mean. Going into the Streamlabs, anybody who's showing support in there, I really appreciate you guys. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer on this June 29th. Why'd I say it like that? We don't know, but it did. Yesterday for the June 28th show, Glenn Caesar sent in some big ass support. Glenn, you fucking rock. Saying, changing up my messages. Hello and good Monday. So this was yesterday, Roxy, and all your nicknames. How are you? Just sending some well wishes, and thank you for taking the time to hang out. Peace, bunnies, hugs, and good stuff to you, Grammy and Popo. Be most excellent to yourselves, RJ, and Rockstar's Band. So what I will say is, Glenn, even though I was not here yesterday, I was filming for you guys, and the shoot yesterday was fucking nuts. Fucking nuts. I cannot wait until you guys see it. Some of you guys have put the pieces together about what we're doing, and it sounds pretty simple, but we had, it was 105 degrees where we were filming, and we had some incidents. Let's just put it that way. It is going to be a hell of a time for our editor. I don't know what the fuck he's going to do, but it when you guys see it, oh boy, yeah, it's an oh boy situation. In terms of Ryan, I think what you saw was the preview for tomorrow's episode, not the one we shot yesterday, but the one we shot a month ago, because we shoot these a month in advance because they're highly produced and edited. Tomorrow's episode is going to be a lot of fun too. We did a Hollywood tour bus, and it was a blast. This was like one of the most funs we've had doing any episode. It was really fun. So check out the World Girls tomorrow night, where you can check out our tour, us being major tourists in Hollywood. It was great. Glenn C. also said, thanks, Roxy and Rock Stars, for showing up for those that need it and want it, and giving your support whenever, however you can. That's cool. The sound of the song of your life will always be remembered. Remember to always be easy on yourselves and fly free. You're fully unique. You're kind. You're caring. Being so unselfishly loving and supportive of others, including strangers, whether it's on the internet or not, makes you humane and worthy. You're a healing medicine and or soothing ointment for a wound. That's sweet, Glenn. Your story is important, deserves to be seen and heard, so please do your best to see and hear those around you. I agree. If we all feel like we need to be seen and heard, then that means we need to do the seeing and the hearing as well. Who aren't like you, but would still appreciate being seen and heard, even if they are silent about it, just waiting. May we be suns glowing extraordinarily bright, so that we can see what's all around us, as well as be seen by those who are in a fog, but who are searching for the luminous spark as they are trying to make it through a cloud and can't quite see as clearly. Cheers to finding fuck yeah news, what brings us smiles, laughter, joy, and bliss in each of our days, our weeks, our months, and even our years, so that we can all glow in the flow like little inextinguishable fireballs or suns here on Earth. This is really sweet, Glenn. Bunnies to Avery Burke and Avery's mom. Rest in peace to Chris Burke. Hashtag 3 rock stars forever. Let's go Smets and everyone fighting to smash cancer. I stand against anti-Semitism. I stand against Islamophobia. I stand against Asian hate. Hashtag stop AAPI hate. I know that Black Lives Matter. Hashtag BLM. Miles Cosgrove, Brett Hangison, Jonathan McNally, rest the cops who killed Breonna Taylor. All 3 of them for killing Breonna Taylor. Hope today is the day just for the people who've lost their lives due to excessive force. Hashtag say their names. Thank you so much, Glenn, for those words. We appreciate your words yesterday at what was like 12:30 in the morning. Whoa, Glenn. Late night. Chris Martinez in the Streamlabs today with our first Streamlabs of the day, streamlabs.com/Roxy Schreier. Thank you for being here, Chris. Chris says, hey, Roxy, sorry I haven't been donating as much. Just wanted to send positive vibes and let you know everyone here know that Star and I love you very much. Sending bunnies and hearts to the best people. Well, Chris, I love you and Star. The rock stars love you and Star. The world friends love you and Star. You guys are the greatest couple, and I appreciate any and all support that you give at any time. So thank you for being here and for giving me that support today and all the days that you've been able to be here. And to everybody else in the chat right now, shout out to you guys all. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully you guys are able to give support in the Streamlabs as well, in the super chat, and by giving this video a thumbs up, sharing it with your fat friends, growing the Rockstars band, subscribing to the channel, and all that great stuff. But for those of you guys who are just here, just being here is enough. And I appreciate every second that you spend with me on this show, every minute, every day, every year. Because at this point, we're years in. Matt Munoz, Mark Najar, Chris Martinez, Joseph Ashley, Brittany Parker, Jake Iacovetta, Ben Holmes, Rob Fishbeck, Ryan Payne, George Pruitt, Andrew Thomas, Mark Jason Ali, Evan Hooker, French Taunter. Keep scrolling. Come on, keep scrolling. Murderanta, the third turd, John Bainbridge, Matthew Gold, John Get Bent, Movie Master 83, Curtis Mason, and everybody else who is joining us for the show today. Appreciate y'all. And thank you for your time. All right. Thank you for your time. Am I customer service? Thank you for calling in to Live at the Roxy. We really appreciate your attendance here on this show. Stay on the line if you would like to hear about Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears, or press 2 if you want to hear about Knives Out 2, or press 3 if you want to talk about Black Widow. Just kidding, you can't press any of the buttons. I'm going to talk about all that shit anyway. Let's start with this Christina story. Christina and Britney. Will end with the Black Widow story, because I know that even though I'm not going to do spoilers, some people don't like to hear jack shit about the movie in general. So we're going to go from Christina and Britney to Knives Out 2 and then Black Widow. And in between those things, we'll do whatever the fuck it is that you guys want to talk about, because it's y'all's show as much as it is mine, even though my name is the one that's Roxy. I wonder if we've ever had another Roxy in here. I don't remember anybody ever chatting in saying their name was Roxy. It's kind of weird. All right, let's talk about this. So if you don't give a fuck about this Britney story because you don't give a fuck about Britney Spears, I get it. Maybe you didn't care about her music. Maybe you don't fucking listen to that. Maybe you didn't grow up the same time I did. Maybe Britney isn't the biggest pop star on the planet to you. But that being said, this entire Free Britney movement has taken over. It is definitely transcend whether or not you give a shit about Britney Spears' music. This is about a human rights issue and about Britney being extremely fucked by the government, her family, and frankly, the entire system. So you guys already know. I've spent so much time talking about Free Britney. I broke down her entire speech to about the conservatorship. I'm going to continue talking about this on the show. But this was something really interesting that took place that I was not necessarily expecting. If you grew up in the time that I grew up, I was born in 91. So if you grew up when I grew up and you were a teenager when Britney and Christina were the two biggest fucking pop stars, you know, there was other ones. And obviously when we're talking about groups, Destiny's Child was fucking huge at that time too. Spice Girls were fucking massive at that time. Mandy Moore was pretty big. There was a lot of really big pop stars, but it was Britney and Christina. Those were like the two who really, as individuals, were huge solo pop stars. And because of that, there was always in the news beef. We would hear beef about the two of them. We would see them together at award shows. Sometimes we would think they were BFF. A lot of times we would think they hated each other. They were not. It was also a different time in which there was no Twitter, there was no Instagram. We didn't really know what was going on with Britney and Christina. We just knew rumors of different things, and sometimes Britney was on top, and sometimes Christina was on top. And for the most part, Britney was a little more famous, but Christina seemed a little more talented to people in terms of they thought her voice was better. But oftentimes Britney was known as the better performer dancer, and Christina was known as the better vocalist. Just always being compared to one another, and coming up in a time period where it's really fucking hard to be a young girl coming up in a business that's too old for you. You know, the people who you're working with are these money-making, money-grubbing older men, and you're coming up as a fucking kid just trying to do right, getting criticism from everybody about every move that you make, and constantly being compared to this other girl. So it makes sense that these girls have a lot of different feelings towards one another. Sometimes that feeling might be gratefulness that somebody else is sharing the limelight with them. Sometimes that might be resentment that somebody else is getting more attention, more fame. I understand the complications, and none of us fully understand, but we can understand just from hearing that how complicated this relationship might be. So when Christina took to Twitter yesterday to talk about the Britney Spears situation, it was in a way that a lot of people deemed to be very loaded. There was no way Christina could talk about this without getting some form of heat, which is something that Christina Aguilera must have been aware of because of all of the rumors that had taken place. But she decided 20 hours ago to tweet this series of tweets anyway. I'm going to read it to you guys, and then we can break it down. She tweets out and says, "These past few days, I've been thinking about Britney and everything she's going through. It is unacceptable that any woman or human wanting to be in control of their own destiny might not be allowed to live life as they wish." Also, this first tweet comes with this picture of the two of them just like really young, looking all cutesy, the two of them there. Okay. Then she subtweets herself and says, "To be silenced, ignored, bullied, or denied support by those close to you is the most depleting, devastating, and demeaning thing imaginable. The harmful mental and emotional damage this can take on a human spirit is nothing to be taken lightly. So just breaking that tweet down first. Well, we'll break it down after. I'll keep going first. Next tweet. Every woman must have the right to hear her own body, the right to her own body, her own reproductive system, her own privacy, her own space, her own healing, and her own happiness. While I'm not behind the closed doors of this very layered and personal yet public conversation, all I can do is share from my heart on what I've heard, read, and seen in the media. The conviction and desperation of this plea for freedom leads me to believe that this person I once knew has been living without compassion or decency from those in control. To a woman who has worked under conditions and pressure unimaginable to most, I promise you, she deserves all the freedom possible to live her happiest life. My heart goes out to Britney. She deserves all the true love and support in the world. So this is a challenging one to fully break down, and we will do so here on the show. I would love to hear from you guys. Before we fully get into my thoughts on these tweets, though, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Let me know what you think. Do you think that Christina should have spoken out earlier? Do you think it's good that she spoke out now? Do you think she never should have been the person who is speaking out? Do you think that she contributed to where Britney is? Do you think she's helping where Britney is? How are you guys feeling about Xtina and Britney? Let me know in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Get in that support and let your voice be heard now on the show. Also in the super chat works as well, although we know YouTube takes 50% of all super chats because they can go fuck themselves. They can go fuck themselves. They can go fuck themselves. But how much higher? They can go fuck themselves. It's such a good ending note. Totally. So breaking this down, let's go through one by one. The first tweet, she's just kind of sharing a picture and saying, it's me, Christina, and Britney, and what's happening to Britney is not cool. The next tweet, she says some like generic things that a lot of us are saying. To be silenced, ignored, bullied, or denied is devastating, can be harmful for your mental health. That we know. Totally. I think everybody can relate or can understand that. She then says every woman must have the right to her own body, reproductive system, her own privacy, space, healing, and happiness. So the first part of that, as we've talked about with the IUD thing, the fact that Britney Spears is not allowed to take out her IUD, meaning she is not allowed by her conservatorship to get pregnant, is showing that she doesn't have a right to her own body or reproductive system. No privacy as people are there while she's changing all that stuff. So now Christina's getting into details, which means that Christina's up to date on the situation. So this is the first time we're seeing that Christina actually watched this video or listened to or is paying attention to the Britney Spears conservatorship case. I don't know if prior to this point she was not aware of these things. Probably not, as many of us were not aware of these things. Then she says something really interesting. While I'm not behind the closed doors of this very layered and personal yet public conversation, all I can do is share from my heart on what I've heard, read, and seen in the media. So here she is saying that she has no insider knowledge here and that this is all based on what she has seen and read, like us. And why this is fascinating is because there's a lot of people out there who keep saying, you guys don't know the full story. She could be suffering with mental illness. You guys don't know why her family's actually doing this. To which I feel like, say she is. A lot of people are saying that she's bipolar. So you're telling me if she's bipolar, that we don't think she should be able to see her children when she wants to, or to go in her boyfriend's car, or to not do a residency in Vegas? You can't have it both ways. If she is bipolar, which maybe she is, maybe she isn't. I don't know if we've gotten a diagnosis on that. I have a lot of bipolar friends. I have a lot of bipolar family members. And being bipolar doesn't mean that you need to work 7 nights a week, but with the money you make, you can't make the decisions on how you spend it. Huh? So I think what Christina was saying here is interesting because a lot of people keep saying, I'm not behind closed doors. I'm not behind closed doors. And that seems like a weird way to phrase things. You're not behind closed doors, but we're seeing what we're seeing. And no, that doesn't mean we have every single detail. But what detail can we not, could we be missing? That would mean that the situation the way it is right now is the situation the way it should be. Like, what possible detail could we be missing that excuses the behavior that's going on right now? Say she is bipolar or mentally unstable. Then why are you forcing her to work 7 nights a week, but she can't sit in her boyfriend's car? What? Say she doesn't spend her money well. How many people do we know who don't spend their money well? Say her being alone with her kids is not good for her children. That's a completely different situation than a conservatorship over everything she does. Her kitchen cabinet colors, the job she takes, her money. So if there needs to be restrictions on her and her children, then isn't that a custody situation, not a conservatorship? Just in what world are we missing so much behind these closed doors? I'm not saying Christina was saying this, but for everybody who keeps saying we don't know what's going on behind closed doors, what could I can't think of any situation. I've got a big imagination. You guys know I'm a writer, I'm an artist. I've got a big ass imagination. Can't think of any situation, anything that justifies this. So why do people keep saying we don't know what's going on behind closed doors? We don't know what's going on behind anybody's closed doors. Such is life. Then Christina says, the conviction and desperation of this plea for freedom leads me to believe that this person I once knew has been living without compassion or decency from those in control. I don't know whether she's saying she doesn't know this person anymore, like metaphorically, like I have no idea who Britney Spears is anymore, or she's saying like Britney and I don't talk at all anymore and we used to talk, so I don't know what's happening. Then she says, to a woman who's worked under conditions and pressure unimaginable to most. And I don't know whether she's saying herself or Britney. I think she's talking about herself here. I think she's relating here, saying like both Britney and herself have worked under these. And she says, I promise she deserves all the freedom possible to live her happiest life. Yeah, I think that part kind of nails it. If anybody can relate to her life, it is Christina. And then Christina says, my heart goes out to Britney. She deserves all and then all capital letters, true love and support in the world. I don't know why she capitalized true, implying that she's receiving not real love. And I just don't know about what that exactly means. We're going to continue to break this down. I would love to hear from you guys. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar. What did you think about Christina's tweets? What did you think about her message? Do you guys think that this was the right thing to do, properly worded? Was there something missing? Should she not spoken at all? Streamlabs in. Alexander Wilson in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar says, what was the highest selling album in the year that you were born? Alexander, I don't know, but I was 91. If one of you guys wants to let me know, look it up. I would love to hear from you guys. John Lestrina in the Streamlabs says, thankfully, our next Fast Saga experience begins production in January. Wow. And good news is we can keep experiencing the greatness that is F9. F9? John Lestrina, what's F10 going to be called? Interesting. John Lestrina should be able to name it. I don't know a bigger Fast and the Furious fan than you, John Lestrina. You've earned this at this point. You definitely have. All right, going back into the chat, just looking at you guys a little bit. Brittany says, I think she's referring to her family not being genuinely loving. Brittany, I think that's exactly what's happening here. That's a good point when she's talking about true love. A lot of people thought that she's referring to her boyfriend, who people think is in it for a different reason. But I don't think Christina's talking about her boyfriend at all. I think she's talking about Jamie Spears and her mom and even her sister, which like her sister came out. Jamie Lynn was like, I'm so proud of her for using her voice. But Britney Spears in her entire 23-minute speech cites her family and says like her entire family. If she wanted people to know that Jamie Lynn has had her back, she would have said that. And she did not say that. So I'm not here to speculate. I mean, I guess I am speculating, but I'm not here to make any statements that I don't know about. Maybe Jamie Lynn and Britney still are really close. We know at one time they really were. And Britney would introduce Jamie Lynn and was so proud of her and had so much love for her. Where they are at this point, I really don't know. But I think that if her sister was gang Britney, that Britney would have said, my sister's the only one in my corner. But she did not. And maybe she didn't say that because that would fuck up Jamie Lynn's situation with her parents, and Britney's scared that what happened to her will happen to Jamie Lynn. But Rob Fishbeck says, Google says 91 Mariah Carey. You've got to be fucking with me. Also, REM, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and Metallica. I will take the Chili Peppers, Metallica, and REM any day, all day, over Mariah. Anthony Kiedis has a better voice than Mariah Carey. You heard it here first. I love his voice. I don't know if that's actually true. Mariah might have a better voice than Anthony Kiedis, but I like Anthony's voice better. Alexander Wilson says, Prentice Penny, the showrunner of Issa Rae's Insecure, mother of Judge... Insecure mother is the judge in Britney Spears' case. Oh, interesting. He said his mom is not about foolishness. What's the deal with that? Not about foolishness. Kind of interesting. Wait, Bruce Banner, you're out after what comment? What happened? The Mariah comment? Bruce, you mad about the Mariah situation? Be honest. You can be mad at me about it. I get it. Going into the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Track Stars in the house says, hi, Roxy. Just wanted to let you know you have the best audio in the YouTube space. It's always clear, and I'm sure you don't get credit enough for the behind the scenes, but I just want to let you know. That's so sweet, Track Stars. I really appreciate that. Dwayne Burke gave me this mic, and then I bought these like hookups and all this stuff. But thank you to him for giving me this Blue Yeti, which is really, really nice and easy to use. I will say that I am working on a studio space, and I think within the next week I should have a different setup, table and all this stuff. I still got to completely figure out my Wi-Fi situation, but I definitely try. Yeah, I definitely try. It's hard. Alexander Wilson says, 91 Mariah Carey's debut album. Oh my God, y'all are fucking with me. Y'all are fucking with me. Except for Track Stars, who's not fucking with me. Track Stars being sweet as shit, which I appreciate, because nobody's ever sweet to me. Well, that's not true. You guys often are, but not many people. It's tough. It's hard out here for a rocks. I think it's hard out here for a rock stars band, too. All right, moving on. Let me know if you guys have any other thoughts on Christina or Britney. In general, though, I'm glad that she said something. A lot of people are saying that this was fucked up of Christina, that Christina was friends with Justin after Britney, and Christina didn't support Britney when she needed it. I think that both of these women had an extremely tough go at it coming up, where society was judging the fuck all out of them. And I think they did the best they could to survive, honestly. I'm not saying woe is them. There's a lot of people, but I think that it probably was more challenging to be them than any of us could ever understand. As a fucking kid. Moving on, let's talk a little bit about Knives Out 2 before we finally get to the Black Widow non-spoiler review. I guess there's not even that much to talk about here other than Ethan Hawke and Jada Pinkett Smith are joining Knives Out 2, and is this the greatest cast of all fucking time? How is this possible that this cast just continues to grow in the way that it is? I guess that I think this is one of those things where when you have one person, it's much easier to get the second person. When you have that second person, much easier. And that's for any movie. And then this movie is a movie that's already proven. People like Rian Johnson. People like the cast. They want to work with their friends or people that they think are talented. And so, yeah, we knew, yeah, we knew this movie was going to be good. Now I'm wondering what the fuck this even, like, how this is even going to fully fucking work, because there's just so many. But there's a lot of people in the previous one. So I think they started shooting. This says Rian Johnson announces Knives Out 2 is starting production in Greece. That was yesterday, 10 a.m. And that sounds fucking dope. What's better than shooting in Greece for this sick ass cast? I would legitimately cut off an arm to be a part of this. So, just so y'all know, it's kind of where I'm at. Andrew Thomas says, hey, to the most good-looking and sexy Roxy, you were a great host for SEN today. I always appreciate you. Thanks, Andrew Thomas. I appreciate you, too. I really appreciate you. Catherine Hahn took a selfie while filming on set, and looks like she's with Kate Hudson, too, and a couple of fans, they said. That's kind of cool. So they must be mid-shooting. We got Daniel Craig, Janelle Monáe, Kate Hudson, Leslie Odom Jr., Catherine Hahn, Ed Norton, Dave Bautista, Madeline Klein, Jessica Henwick, just to name a few. And then, like I said, Ethan Hawke and Jada Pinkett Smith. A lot of people are saying that they think Ethan Hawke is like the Chris Pine of this. Oh, Chris Evans. Wrong Chris. I was like, who did I just say? The Chris Evans of this one. I could kind of see them having similar vibes. I don't know what Jada Pinkett Smith's role is, but I do like her. I loved Gotham also. I know a lot of people didn't, but God, I loved that. What do you guys think about this? Are we going to still continue to see names? How is it that they're already shooting and then just now we're getting those names? That's wild. What else are you guys hoping for this movie? Let me know in the Streamlabs. In the super chat, Alexander Wilson says, Prentice didn't like that people were attacking his mother over Britney's case. She's been in law since 84 and she knows what the deal is. Yeah, but everybody's going to protect their mom and think that their mom is right with all the different cases. That's just my thoughts. Jake says, you just gave me a massive brain fuck with the Chris Pine. I was like, where the hell was he in the first one? Yeah, I was like, Chris Pine. Paused for a second. Then I was like, where is my mind? Where is my mind? Where is my mind? I gotta say, I think that is one of the greatest songs of all time. When The Leftovers used that for their season 3, such a smart move. It's just an epic banger that I could not relate to more. And sometimes I just drive for a long time in the car and listen to Where Is My Mind over and over and over again. This is a little window into my soul. Not that that's what we're talking about right now. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar. Getting your questions, comments, concerns, support in the Streamlabs. Jake Yakoveta said, wait, we're supposed to be sweet to the people on the internet? That's news to me. Yeah, but only if they're named PLD. Jake, that's the whole rule. The entire internet you're supposed to be mean to, unless that person's named PLD. And that. Now, yeah, I know that it's a foreign concept that people on the internet are supposed to be nice to each other, but in life, people are supposed to be nice to each other. That's just the way it is. Glenn Caesar, that big ass support in the Streamlabs. Thank you, Glenn. I need it and love it. Love to see it. Says hello and a good Tuesday. I feel like for some reason, Glenn, today you're British, so you're going to be British today. Hello and a good Tuesday, Roxy, and all your nicknames. Great job hosting SAN Live. Thanks for another very fun and funny episode. Low-key tonight. Yes, I'm hyped for Black Widow on July 9th too. I think it's going to be a cool early birthday gift for myself. 7/17. Glenn, you are a Cancer also? And then Glenn says, LFG, let's fucking go. I don't know why I didn't realize you were a Cancer too, Glenn. We're an interesting group. We almost made it to Leo. And yet, although you do seem like a water sign to me. Not that I fucking know what I'm talking about any of this shit. I'm just learning more things from D and Steph. Thank you for saying good job with hosting. I appreciate you. I'm excited for Loki tonight as well. Ben Holmes, as a Brit, that accent is something else. Oh, is it? Chip, chip, cheerio. Actually, I do a pretty decent British accent, but this is when I'm being obnoxious, like my fucked up person British accent. Like, not like proper London, but just like little fucker. Rob Fishbeck, what part of England is that accent? It's from the English book crack. Thank you for asking, sir. You got to do it with the whole face, too. It's just kind of like a snout, like, oh, how dare he? He thinks he can make a fool out of me. Ben Holmes says, that ain't no English accent. Ben Holmes, what do you know about an English accent, sir? If I'm going to me, maybe England from the 1800s, LMAO. LMAO? What's LMAO? Lamo? Just let me live my life. Just watched 20 people leave the stream. I started my British accent and 20 people left us. Good for you, 20 people. Get the fuck out of here. Get out while you still can. And for those of you guys who are still here, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Support the show, support me making myself laugh, and support that we're going to be talking about a lot of different things on the show because it's a motherfucking roller coaster. And as Pink Sweets reminds us, Leviosa. It's Leviosa. It's very important. Never forget. It's the O for me, though. It's the O for me. Ben says every Brit just left except me. Fuck. It's not true. Hi, Mark. I'm staying. I'm always down for Roxy. Yeah. That's what's up. All right, let's talk about Black Widow. What a fucking transition. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Questions, comments, concerns. If you are concerned about me spoiling this, I will not. This is a spoiler-free review. I'm just talking kind of tone, my overall thoughts, characters, but no specific plot points, nothing that will ruin anything for you, nothing that's going to do anything other than share with you how I felt about the movie. So I will say that, because I always like to give you guys all the background information that I have, Disney sent out, now they are doing, you can either, which I really appreciate, Disney's way more so than any other studio has had their shit together coming back from pandemic with the screeners. They just have done a really good job. But they sent out asking for 2 different times for press that you could come and see the movie at a theater, or they would send you a screening link. And the screener link is available for 48 hours. What's interesting about the screener link is that we got the screener link yesterday at 3 p.m. If you requested the screener link, you got it yesterday at 3 p.m. and it expires tomorrow at 3 p.m. But the embargo is up this morning at 9 a.m. And my theory that because we don't have that many reviews so far, my theory is that a lot of critics or people that were reviewing the movie got the screener, know we have it for 48 hours, and are waiting to review it until they are able to watch it or watch it for a couple times. And so they are not reviewing it yet. And it expires tomorrow at 3. So I have a feeling over the next 24 hours, because it's almost 3 right now, we're going to be getting a lot more reviews, because I was kind of expecting more reviews. For a Black Widow movie, you'd think it would come out on Rotten Tomatoes with a bunch of reviews, but this morning when everything happened, there was 33 reviews. And I was just sitting there thinking, that's kind of low for this movie. When they asked if we wanted to come see it in person, I obviously think a movie like this is better to see in person, but at this point in time, when they're offering digital screeners, I'm usually accepting that instead, mostly because I actually have an easier time reviewing movies for a few reasons. Number one, I have an easier time reviewing movies when I'm able to, if I miss something, if I'm trying to give you guys my actual, if I'm doing a spoiler review, if I'm really talking about it, it's so much easier when you can pause, rewind, go back, and figure out what exactly somebody says, make sure you didn't miss anything. Because the first time you see a movie, every one of us forgets something. Every one of us misses something. So that. And then also, I think that right now, as we're reacclimating to regular life, if you guys are like me, I'm kind of having a hard time with it. When I go to these screenings, I know so many people there, and it can be very overwhelming. And it's kind of hard for me to concentrate on a lot of the movies right now because there's just it's not like going to a movie theater where I'm just going up with a friend of mine or myself and just going to watch. These screenings are very much so social hour. Everybody knows each other, and sometimes that definitely can affect my opinion on a movie or my situation. So for this one, I requested that I watch it at home, and I was glad that I did because there was a couple of times that I was like, wait a sec. And then I paused, rewind, and was like, oh, okay. In general, I thought that Black Widow was very good. It was very good. So people who are saying that I'm being cryptic about it in my tweet or whatever. I'm not being cryptic about anything. Black Widow was really good. It definitely has some flaws for me. It definitely has some holes. And it wasn't, for me, it wasn't incredible. But it was really solid, really good, very entertaining, and something I would certainly watch again and would like to watch again in the next, probably I'll wait till it comes out and then I'll probably watch it again because I just want to get the whole feel of it one more time, at least. The best parts of the movie are the performers and the character dynamics. Florence Pugh is phenomenal. And the fact that she is, we all have seen what not in this movie, but what happened previously with ScarJo's character. And the fact that a lot of people are tweeting about how this is kind of because we know what happens with ScarJo, we know that this is more of a send-off for her character, but more of a door opening for Florence Pugh's character. It makes me really excited because Florence Pugh is somebody we can get behind. Florence Pugh is somebody who seamlessly is an action star, yet a really, really good actress. I have a feeling she's going to be one of the best action stars of our time, too, because she's kind of built like a boss. She's got that like muscular look, but she's also really, really cute and endearing and stern and tough. She's got a lot of things going on for her at once. And her in this movie, she definitely shines. I'm really impressed with Scarlett Johansson as well because she's always been a star. And I think in this movie, she realizes that even though she's the one on the cover and even though she's in the posters, she's not as much the star of this movie as Florence Pugh kind of is. It's more of an introduction than a closing. So I feel like ScarJo really lifted up Florence Pugh in this movie. Her performance and I think she was just very generous with it. And she did a great job of elevating Florence Pugh and kind of being like that big sister from one actress to another who really helps shine a light on somebody else. There's people who are really great at that. And then there's people who want the spotlight all on them. And ScarJo clearly is okay sharing the spotlight. So that was great. David Harbour is excellent in this. I thought that it could have gotten over the top really quick and too much. But for me, he made all the stuff with his character work in a way that might not have worked if it had been a different actor. So that was very impressive to me as well. And the entire dynamic between Rachel Weisz's character, ScarJo's character, Florence Pugh's character, and David Harbour's character, that all was the best part of the movie for me. I really, really enjoyed watching them interact. And there were some incredible action sequences where they're interacting and some incredible, more poignant moments where they're interacting. And all of that was like the heart and the soul of the movie to me that just very much so worked. What didn't work for me as well was, tonally speaking, this movie was a bit all over the place in a way that some people, I remember Christian had this problem with Guardians 2, where there's a lot of jokes shoehorned into this movie. And they're not just told by one person. They're kind of told by all the characters. And it's almost like everybody's a little funny. And there will be a really, really serious moment. But then there's just joke. And it kind of took me out of it at times because I'm in the trenches. I'm in it. And then joke. And kind of just, I didn't love that the tone, we kind of just kept dipping in and out. A lot of the tone works, but sometimes we're just kind of all over the place. The timing is a bummer. And I mean that in a couple different ways. The timing of pandemic and then that pushing this movie. The timing of the fact that we know what happens with ScarJo's character and now this is coming out. The timing and the fact that we've been in the MCU for over a decade and this is the first time that we're getting a Black Widow movie. And then the actual timing of the movie, like the pacing of the movie, it's a little strange. Like at one point I was like, where am I in the movie right now? And then I looked and I said, we're at the midpoint. It felt like we were about to get into a third act, but we still had a bunch of the second act left. And I was like, This is a little bit of an interesting pacing choice. It definitely felt like a Marvel movie. The first act, not even the first act, I would say the first 10 minutes until what's known as like the inciting incident does not feel like a Marvel movie. And then the rest of the movie definitely feels like a Marvel movie. I think, like many Marvel movies, this movie suffered slightly from not having the strongest villain character or characters. It worked for me. The storyline worked for me. And it was definitely easy to understand what we were doing, which I like. Sometimes in these movies, things are so convoluted, all of a sudden you'll be on a journey for a while and then be like, why are we on this journey again? What's happening? That was not the case in this. It was clear what we were doing, and then we were set out to do it, and then we did it, and then we either do or don't, but then we work on doing it. And so that all was good. Also, it looked really cool. But what fucking Marvel movie doesn't look good? Every Marvel movie looks good. This one looked really good, though. A lot of choreography was awesome, too. And it was cool to see a Black Widow movie because we've been waiting a long time for that. So those are my in general thoughts. Let me know if you guys have questions, comments, concerns. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Let me know your thoughts and what you want to know about Black Widow. Leonard Kim, the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer says, hey, Dimple Tits, I hope you're doing well. Were you able to catch The Bachelorette last night? Our girl Katie laid down the hammer, and it was glorious to witness. The hair looks gorgeous. Thanks, Leonard Kim. When my hair looks like shit, I can at least count on the fact that Leonard Kim will give me a compliment, and I appreciate that. I didn't watch last night because I was watching this instead, and I didn't get home from our shoot until late, but it is something I certainly will be doing in the next day. I'm very, very excited to watch Bachelorette, and I'll let you know. And good, she's got to lay down the hammer. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Let me know how you're feeling about Black Widow. Have all of the reviews made you more excited, less excited? What are your thoughts going into this movie? This morning when I checked it out at 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, that I think was too high for it. But I understand how it got there because I can't imagine this movie like really offending or upsetting anybody. It's definitely solid. Let's see, Rotten Tomatoes, but I think that was still a little high. I would put it in the low 80s, maybe at 80. Let's see, Rotten Tomatoes, Black Widow. Currently, we are sitting at an 85. Yeah, with 84 reviews, we are sitting at an 85. I want to see what some of these critics are saying. As you guys know, I definitely don't describe myself as a critic. Some people are way better at this. Perry Nemiroff, speaking of one, Perry Nemiroff and I usually disagree on things, but it sounds like we're agreeing here. Perry gives us a 4.5 out of 5 and says, Black Widow meets the immense challenge of enhancing the past and future of the character while also functioning as a full experience in and of itself. Interesting she felt that way. I would have thought that Perry wouldn't have loved this movie as much. I would have thought she liked it less than I did, but I think she likes it as much, if not a little more, and that's great to hear. Philip DeSemlin from Time Out says, satisfying mix of muscle and emotion. I think that's a great way of describing it. Definitely there's enough action, but also enough feels, and that's one of the main great parts about this movie. Tim Gearson gave this a rotten and said, Black Widow seems like a missed opportunity, an energetic placeholder in the Marvel Cinematic Universe meant to tide audiences over until a bigger, richer adventure comes along. I didn't feel that way. However, this did have the disservice of having it be a Marvel movie when usually we're seeing Marvel movies much more frequently when we haven't been able to. And so this did feel like it was a huge movie and there's a lot of weight on its shoulders. So I do feel that. Robert Kozer also gave it a rotten and says, after an entire year of no Marvel movies on the big screen, it's difficult not to recommend this as a worthy escapist popcorn fun, but that's it. And give it a 2 out of 5. Ooh, that's way, way harsh. Way harsh. And I definitely disagree there. Charlotte O'Sullivan gives it fresh and says, there's an art to delaying the inevitable. By the God of Thunder, director Kate Shortland demonstrates that art in this Marvel spinoff, which basically functions as a wondrous 2-hour-long goodbye. I didn't feel like this movie functioned as a 2-hour-long goodbye. I definitely disagree with that review. And I feel like based on what I'm seeing on Twitter, a lot of people disagree with that review. So, yes. I didn't speak that much about Rachel Weisz, but she's phenomenal in everything she does. And I think that she is really good at being subtle. She never overperforms. She just kind of exists in a way that really works for me. I like her style a lot. She's pretty excellent. In the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, Bojack says, "Hey, Roxy, I have a show recommendation for you today. Kevin Can Fuck Himself on AMC. I've heard good things. It's been such a revelation. It's partially shot like a 3-camera sitcom, but then switches to a different style, more akin to Breaking Bad." Really? Have you heard of the show? Yeah, you're not the first. I like AMC a lot. I love FX and I love AMC, and I feel like they do some really original stuff and take some risks over there. I got to know more about the show. Thanks for the rec. Leonard Kim in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer says, "Do you think that Disney constantly pushing Black Widow back hurt the movie, or do you think it was the right decision? I haven't lost my excitement for Black Widow, but I think there's a contingent of people who are over waiting for it." Yeah, it's so weird because I waited all this time, but then I watched it on my computer or on my TV based on viewing through my computer. I started watching on my computer, but then I plugged it into the TV because I wanted to see things bigger. And so it's like I watched it that way anyway after waiting all this time. And so part of me thinks that Disney should have just released it on Disney Plus. But then also I think it would have been overlooked then. And we've waited so long for this. I think it deserves a theatrical release. And I think it was the right call. At the end of the day, I do. Because they got to make back more of their money. Because they were fucked in that department. And it's like their big female superhero character. I know we got Captain Marvel and we have a ton of them, but like Black Widow was their OG. And that she earned it. She earned it. She earned the big screen. And that's how I feel. If you have any more questions, comments, concerns, Streamlabs them in before we get out of here. Thank you guys for joining me today live at the Roxy, and thank you for always coming and bringing that support. If you want to know any more thoughts on Christina and Britney, on Black Widow, if you've seen it yourself, on Ethan Hawke and Jada Pinkett Smith, or anything going on in your own lives, we are here for a little longer, not much, maybe another minute or so. So rush to get those Streamlabs and Super Chats in. I do always love to give shout outs to you guys who are in here. I appreciate you for being here. No matter what level of support you're able to give me, I can still feel it, see it, and see you. Jake Yacovetta, Ben Holmes, Morning Glory 2, Ryan Payne, Rob Fishbeck, Andrew Thomas, John Bainbridge, Bruce Banner, Joseph Ashley, keep scrolling, Murrah, the Ever Living. Ever living. All right. Sure. Movie Master 83. Where my girls at from the front to back. Gary Smith. And so many more of you guys. I appreciate y'all. Evan Hooker. Mark Jason Ali. I'm still here. Never offended. Sir Joker 40. What but my awful accent? Brittany Paca. Thought we would say it in Boston. See, that's awful. Mark Najjar, Zeno Hour. All right, we do have another Streamlabs rolling through. Thank you so much for the support coming in from streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Sir Joker 40, my BFFS says, "Hello, my lovely BFFR. Been super busy and shit. Got much going on. Took a break at work to show my girl some love. Thank you. And you look super cute today. Aw, I appreciate you. Joker Bunny, gang, everyday experts, Air 2, Be Anomaly, My Sister's Better Than Yours, all love for you." Thanks for those hashtags at the end, Sir Joker. You rock, and I mean it. You rock, and I mean it. That's the truth. All right, getting out of here. Much love to you guys. Check your internet. You can do that by blowing on it. Don't Trump with the Holocaust. Brett Miles, Jonathan, arrest the cops who killed Breonna Taylor, all three of them for killing Breonna Taylor. Put your toilet seat down. We don't want those flumes. Make your bed if you have not already. Stay safe, stay sane. Love you guys lots, and I'll see you tomorrow live at the Roxy.